Good evening, friends, and hello. It's Lisa Maynard, and welcome to Kit Crush Wednesday. I'm so glad you've joined me tonight. Tonight, we are going to be taking a look at a kit that's been out for a while, but I'm using these cards to give as little gifts. I gave them last weekend. So I wanted to go ahead and do a Kit Crush Wednesday on this kit because I'm not going to have them any longer after last weekend. I don't have them. So this is called Birthday Fancy Kit, and it makes 12 cards, and it was super, super fun. It gives you some instructions how to make some of them, but not all of them. And so I'm going to go ahead and flip this camera around, and we're going to dive into this, and I'm going to explain just what I just told you in more detail. So let's go ahead and flip this camera. And actually, we're just going to maximize this, my screen. There we go. And here are the cards. Now, I don't know why my lighting isn't that great, but bear with me for a moment. This, I've already made 6 cards. I think 6, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 6. It makes 12 cards, and they're all completely different. So let's take a look at the ones that I've already pre-made. There is some stamping, and there's so many different elements. Now, as you can see, they are absolutely birthday themed with cakes and birthday cakes, really. So they're very, very cute. They would be great for any, your daughter, your mother, friends, whoever that loves to celebrate birthdays with cakes. So this is the first one, Time to Celebrate. Here we have another one, and they have different card bases, as you can see. This one has gold foil dots on it. This is Happiest Birthday. We've got all sorts of different elements to this card, just like so. Another one, Let's Eat Cake. This was very fun. A lot of these elements are combined together as one piece, and you'll see that as we go along. Here we have a blue background with a banner sending you happy birthday wishes, and a lot of different sentiments we've used in this kit. Again, Let's Eat Cake with some more different elements here. And one other one that I've already pre-done, Sweetest Birthday Wishes. Super cute. This has a blue background. So there are 3 different backgrounds to this. And then it comes with the envelopes that have the foil dots on the back envelope flap and on the front. So I'm going to go ahead and set these up here, and I'm going to kind of bring them right there. Now, like I said, all the others that I'm going to make, 6 of them tonight, we're going to go through these super fast. They are all completely different than the ones we already made. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to show you what's in this kit because it is really, really fun. Now, again, it's called the Birthday Fancy Kit, and you have instructions. But here's the great thing, or maybe not the great thing about this kit. It gives you instructions, and for some reason, I'm sideways. So we're going to fix that really quickly. You're just going to have to hold on for a minute while we get this back to how it should be. So hold on, friends. We're going to fix this. Don't look at my really, really, really messy craft room here. And let me get this right back in here, just like so. All right, there we go. Sorry about that. Sometimes I don't know what happens. I don't know why that happens. But as I was saying, it gives you instructions to do 3 of the 12 cards in here. And then that's it. You get to do the rest on your own. So what I did, as you can see, there's all 12 on here for you. And I wanted to duplicate these. So I have went ahead and duplicated the other 6 that are on here. All 12 that Stampin' Up! Has done are on the front of this instruction sheet. So that's what I've went ahead and done. And I didn't have instructions for it. So I just did it how I thought it would be done. So there's the instructions. We're not going to use those. We're not going to need those right now, but I do have them all prepped. Then we have our stamp set. And let me put this up here because this is the little insert that you get. And as you can tell, it has the greatest sayings. Let's eat cakes. Happy birthday for you. I've got some on blocks right now. We're going to do a little stamping, but not too much. So that's a great part of the kit. Then we have tear and tape, which, as you know, is the double-sided tape that you can tear. We also have our stamp block, which comes with all kits except for Paper Pumpkin, and our mini glue dots, our Stampin' Dimensionals, those little foam pop-ups. And then in here were all the parts and pieces. So we've got labels and sentiment pieces and more labels, layering pieces. As you can see, I've used some of these. It had 2 sheets of different elements with it, all sorts of extra things that you can add. And I just went ahead and used what I found on the front. So I didn't really need these, but they could be, you keep them. They would be great for other cards that you wanted to use them on. And then all the envelopes in the box. So I'm going to go ahead and set this aside. And I don't think we need a lot of the things because I've already prepped most of this. So let's go ahead and bring in our first card. And I am going to have, just so I remember how these go, I've prepped the pieces for you. So as you can see, this is one element, and I've already put the Stampin' Dimensionals on it. And this element has the tear and tape on it. And this element we are going to stamp. Now, there is a back and a front to these. There's a little bit of a brown edge on that, if you can see. The front that's all white is actually, oh, and there's our little tiny flower that goes on there too. We're going to go ahead and stamp this sentiment. And it is this sentiment right here. Wishing you another year as sweet as you. Oh, the ink spot in this, I believe, sorry if I didn't show you that, was Lost Lagoon. So I'm going to go ahead and use my classic ink pad of Lost Lagoon, and I'm going to grab that here. And we're going to go ahead and ink this up. And we're going to go ahead and stamp this right in the middle of this sentiment, just like so. Let it sink in a little bit, the ink. And there we go. Wishing you another year as sweet as you. Now, to not get my hands in here, I'm going to close that up again. So let's go ahead and fold this over. I think this set is so cute. And you will always have a birthday card available if you get this kit. So we're going to go ahead and a little trick. We're going to burnish that tear and tape. And then it's going to come off super easy with my Take Your Pick tool, just like that, and just like that. And then we're going to go ahead and center this blue on blue on the card base, like so. And I think that looks pretty good. And that tear and tape just is very nice for keeping that all down. Now, I'm going to go ahead and add my layering piece here, which is the wonderful cake images die cuts. And let's flip that over. I'm going to put this right about here on my card, right about like that. So I center that a little bit, right like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and add some Stampin' Dimensionals to the bottom of this since we stamped that. But I'm going to add them near the bottom because part of this is going to pop up over that sentiment. So I don't want, or not the sentiment, sorry, the image. So I don't want it, I don't want them right in the middle. I want them near the end. So, and I'll show you why in just a second, because we're going to just cover up a little teeny tiny bit of the bottom of that image. And so just like so, right like that. Perfect. And then on the back of our little flower, there's a little mini glue dot. And we're going to go ahead and take the backing off of that. Now, again, I am following the, I'm following what it looks like on the front of the instructions. And there we go. Just add that little flower right onto that sentiment right there. And there we have another card wishing you another year as sweet as you. Now, again, I'm following the images on the front of the instruction. You do not have to do that. You can do these however you want. Let's bring in another one. We've got 6 to make, so we need to be rolling here tonight. We're going to go ahead and fold our card base over, burnish this, and get that ready. And then we are going to, I just have to look with what I'm doing here. We're going to go ahead and stamp this sentiment. And this sentiment is going to say, time to celebrate. And I'm going to bring in my stamp pad again. We're going to open this up. The reason I close that every time is because I do not want to get my hands in it. And believe you me, if I didn't close that up, I would. We're going to come in here. Now center that. Time to celebrate. Let that sink in. Bam. There we go. Super cute. Super, super cute. Close that again. Now I've got all my parts and pieces here. I've got that tear and tape on the back of this. I'm just going to use my take your pick and burnish that a little bit. Take the backings off of these, and I've got backings of all sorts of things all over the place because I've been doing lots of crafting in the last few days trying to get ready for my workshop. So, all right, we are going to not center this. We're going to put this over a little bit so that it is, we see more of those dots. And we're going to put it right about, oh, no. Let's get that pulled up before it sets. Right like so. That tear and tape is mighty sticky, friends. Mighty sticky. Well, that's going to have to be as good as it's a little crooked. It's not a big deal. All right, let's take this off of here. And see, when I don't burnish that, it's a little hard to take off. So make sure you burnish that. And we're going to put this right here. It's going to come down below that just a little bit. Then we're going to add some more cake elements. These little die cut pieces are so, so, so cute. And such great colors. They're just very cheerful and bright. And we're going to put this right about like yay. Let's bring it down a little bit. Right about like the yay. Because we're going to go ahead then and we're going to add some Stampin' Dimensionals to this sentiment. And we're going to pop that up on our card right here. Time to celebrate. Right about like so. And actually that distracts a little bit from the fact that that's a little off center. And so we have our second card, time to celebrate. Let's bring in another one. Now we've used a blue background and this dots. Now we've got this very pretty light pink background that we're going to use. So I'm going to go ahead and burnish this. And this one is going to go landscape. And I've got my tear and tape on the back of this. Now I've put 2 layers on this one. I'm not really sure why. You wouldn't need to. You could definitely just use one. Maybe I thought that I really needed this to adhere down. We are going to put this in the lower 4th of the card down here and just put it right like that. And I like how these pieces just layer on top of each other. It's very fun to do that. It's a really, we've done it with, there were butterflies in one kit and I can't remember the name of that, but it was really a fun kit. Again, I'm following what was suggested. You don't need to follow what was suggested at all. You can do however you want. And there we have that. And then we're going to put our little cake on here, just like so. We've got 3 Stampin' Dimensionals on here, and Then I'm going to show you how. I'll put that right there, like that. And we're going to tuck this. Happy birthday. Hopefully. I maybe I should have put that on first, but maybe let's see how if we can get this in here. Nope. I'm going to have to lift that up. So do as I say, not as I do. We're going to put that right like so. I want that up just a hair. Want it right like that. Well, goodness, friends. I want it right like that is where I want it. And then we have this too far up on this one. Okay, I'm gonna put that down like that. That's a little messed up. Don't do what I do. Do as I say. Put that Stampin' Dimensional. We'll fix that later. Put that Stampin' Dimensional down a little bit lower than that because that kind of messed that up. So maybe cut it in half and I'll fix that later. But you wanted that to slide underneath there and I misjudged the distance. So we'll fix that later. All right, let's move on. And again, if you mess it up, I'll fix it later. It's really, really not a big deal. Now this one, we're going to do a little stamping on one of these layers, and then we're going to put the tear and tape on. So again, there's a little brown edge to this. That's the back. It's not a big deal if you don't find the front or the back, but I like to make sure that that brown edge is to the back. So this one is going to say for you, and we're going to stamp it right on this layering piece here. So we're going to find the middle and we're going to put for you. And this is a very, very simple card. Now I've stamped that on there and we don't have our tearing tape on. So if you haven't experienced or used tearing tape before, let's go ahead and just put some on here. And so you can see how it's done. Now it's called tearing tape for a reason because you can tear it. But I always like to cut it, and you don't have to. You can definitely tear it, but for some reason, I just always like to cut it with my scissors. It's just easier for me. So let's go ahead and take these off. Set that aside. No, I have this already burnished. And so there's our front. Make sure I don't have it in the wrong place. And we're going to center this in the middle of this card as best as we can, like so. Perfect. And then one element on this and a super cute card, super easy, and just one little element, and there you have a really cute birthday card. Fun. Absolutely. I love this set. We've got 2 more cards left, friends, just 2. So let's go ahead and fold this one over. And this makes 12 cards. 12. Can you believe it makes 12 cards? It's so much fun. Now, all right, now I know which one I'm at. This one is landscape. So we've got our tear and tape on here. We're going to burnish that. Take those off just like so. I bet everyone's craft spaces probably don't look as bad as mine, but mine gets pretty messy. And if you were with me when I turned that camera around, you saw how messy mine got. So that's how that goes. Then we're going to put this little layering piece. And again, I'm following the visuals, the picture on the front of the instructions, but you can absolutely do this however you want. It is your card, your kit. Do it however you want. And then our sentiment, sweetest birthday wishes. I'm going to put that right about there. And there we go. Another card. Super cute. We've got one more. One more. And here we go. This is the last one we're going to do. And we're going to burnish this. Now this one I stamped right on the layering piece again for you. And we're going to burnish this and take this off. I feel like sometimes when I'm just putting cards together, maybe it's not as exciting as if we were doing other things. But again, I think that sometimes you can learn things from watching others put things together, what not to do, as you saw in that one card that I'm going to fix here in a little while. Or I can show you some tips and tricks of how to make, you know, anything a little easy, from stamping a sentiment to putting the sentiment on your blocks to all sorts of things. So I personally do not get tired of watching other stampers do things because I always learn something. You're always up for learning something. So let's go ahead and grab that. And we're going to put this right here like that. And there we go. And that is our final card for you. They're super cute, friends. Absolutely stunning. So much fun. And that's the one I'm going to fix. You know what? Let's go ahead and fix that right now. This is what we're going to do. We're going to take all of that glue, that Stampin' Dimensional off of there. And I've kind of bent that piece up a little bit, which is kind of a bummer, but it's going to be okay, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, it's not going to be perfect, but I'm going to take a half of a Stampin' Dimensional and I'm going to put it right at the bottom of that. And then I'm going to bend that a little bit. And we're going to put that down and there. Now it sets on there like it's supposed to, and you really can't tell any difference. So see, even when you mess something up a little bit and you think you can't fix it, you absolutely can. You can fix it. It's not a problem. All right. And then so we've got our other ones, 12 cards, 12 of the cutest birthday cards, and the gold foil on them and all the layering pieces. And like I said, I followed the pictures, but you don't have to. You can do them however you want with the cute envelopes. So let me go ahead and turn this around and we're going to finish up. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. It was kind of long, but we made 12 cards and I really love this kit. I will put the link to the kit in the comments, and so you can get one for yourself, because I'm going to get another one of these. You've got 12 birthday cards. Again, thanks for joining me tonight. Hit that like button. You can watch the replays here on Facebook. You can also catch me live on YouTube if you would prefer to watch there. So don't forget about that. Comment, even if this is pre-recorded, please comment. I always go back and read the comments, and I appreciate every one of you that always tunes in or watches the replay, because watching me helps me to make things better for you. So with that, have a great evening, friends. Bye.